Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It is Thursday, and we are counting down the days until our first proper pre-season game, which is in 2 days away at Reading. We know that Kudus is going to be there. Doesn't look like Gibbs White will be there, and it doesn't look like any other new players other than Takai will be there, who has now had his work permit and is in training with Tottenham Hotspur. So a good morning to each and every one of you on what is a record-breaking day today for football. In the women's game, Olivia Smith has just become the first ever £1 million female footballer. So big up to Olivia Smith. Arsenal women have signed Olivia Smith for a world record £1 million fee. So things are changing quick in the women's game. Things are changing quick in the men's game. Football is going absolutely crazy. So in a day where we know that Liverpool are about to put in a bid for Hugo Ekitike, obviously we know all about him after playing him. For Frankfurt this year. He scored a very good goal against us. Liverpool look like they're set to bid for him. Now, Newcastle bid for him, but it was rejected. And what we've seen there, it's an interesting one, that situation, isn't it? Ekitike wanted by Newcastle. Wanted by Newcastle. Liverpool then asking about Isak, being told Isak's not for sale. So they've gone in for Ekitike, which could stop Newcastle getting him. We'll see what happens on that front. But other than that, it's all gone, I would say, very quiet on the Spurs front. The whole kind of Morgan Gibbs White thing looks like it looks like it's very much in with the it looks like it's very much with the lawyers now. It looks like all of that is going on in the background. And for me, I feel like, okay, that's cool. Let's park that. And if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But I am seeing a lot of fans now, a lot of football fans, Tottenham fans getting very frustrated then, saying, well, if that's the case, all we've done so far is buy Kudus and Takai. And let's be honest, that would be true, right? That's all we've done if that is the case. So I'm not saying we won't do anything else, but I'm thinking, if you guys are thinking like me, that, well, why couldn't we do anything in the meantime? Why have we not got players in ready to go for our pre-season tour? Lots of people like me, I thought it was going to be a very different window, and it still could be. But at the moment, is it? Is it different at the moment? I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure it is very different. I keep hearing from people that Levy stepped away. If he has, nothing's really changed as of yet. By the way, these are things that move fluidly. These are things that are nimble. These are things that can change all the time. But you have to ask the question, when are Tottenham going to actually strike? As I said, I want to park the Gibbs White thing, but there's other things we need to do as a football club. So I'm asking the question, when are Tottenham going to strike? We had the week last week where we all went, oh, okay, it's very different. 2 signings over the line. Unfortunately, one of them is in the balance. But right now I'm looking, and like the rest of you, going, right, where's the kind of defensive-minded midfielder that we need? Now, call it a 6, call it a DM, whatever you want to call it. Box, I don't care what we want to call it. But we all know we need that. We all know we need some more attacking options. So the question's got to be, what's going on behind the scenes? Now, we all know that Johan Lang has demonstrated in the last year or so that he does like to very much work in the darkness. He likes to work in the darkness. Now, that's fine. That's fine. I don't care if it's public. I don't care if it's in the darkness, in the background, whatever phrase you want to use. What I care about is that let's show that it's different. Let's show it's different. I've got people that are saying, well, it doesn't matter as long as they're in by the end of the window. And I'm like, sure, but wouldn't it be nice to do what the Arsenals, the Liverpools and the Chelseas are doing, and the Cities, having their players ready to go for pre-seasons, for World Club Cups, ready to go for the pre-season friendly games, for the first game of the season? Now, Tottenham's first game of the season, if I'm not wrong, is exactly a month away. Isn't it the 16th or the 17th of I should know this. I should know this. To be fair, I did check last night and I've completely forgotten. Let's have a look. So Tottenham's first game of the season is on the 16th. So, I mean, look, how many days until the 16th of August? So 30 days. Our first league game is 30 days away. And in between that, we've got to play PSG, we've got to play Bayern Munich, we've got to play Arsenal, we've got to play Newcastle, we've got to play Luton, we've got to play Reading. So in 30 days, we've got to play 6 games of football. So far, I suppose it depends. Do you want to count Takai? Is that somebody that we're counting that's going to go into the first team and really make a difference? I'm not too sure. So I guess it's a bit of a balancing act right now, right? Surely it's a bit of a balancing act. Yes, Kudus, good player. Yes, Gibbs White, if it gets over the line, good player. But you've got to ask yourself the question, are we going to move properly? Are we going to do something that makes you go, yeah, Spurs are serious? Yeah, Spurs have changed. Because there's those that think we massively have changed. There are those that are saying nothing's changed. And there are those in the middle saying, oh, we'll have to wait and see. And of course, and we play this game every transfer window, don't we? Every transfer window, we play this game of the window's not shut and things can still happen and yada, yada, yada. Of course, all of that is actually true. But the concern I have right now is that we go on tour in, 10 days, 11 days we go on tour. How long do deals take? Deals might be going on in the background, by the way, so it could be, boom, here we go. But we play Reading on Saturday. We play Luton the Saturday after. Then, if I'm not wrong, I think it was either the Sunday night or the Monday. I think the Sunday night on the Monday, we go out to Asia. And do we want to be that club where we're playing out on the tour with the same players as last year? Do we want the new players to come in and be coached by Frank? Do we want them to have some time to settle? Because it's very different. When you bring in a player, once the season started, that player has had no time to get to know his teammates. There's been no pre-season friendlies. They've had no chance to get to know Thomas Frank. They're straight in the team, go. And that's fine. Certain players, that's fine. Other players really need time with their teammates, time to settle. So this is going to be very interesting. And like Phil Coys says, if that's the wrong one. Pick up the D's. We'll have a look at this in a minute. But like Phil Coys says, if we get the players we want in before the tour, that's okay with me. Anything after that, I'll be asking questions. Yeah, I agree. I massively agree. I'm just concerned that the number of days are filtering down between now and when we go. And it looked very much like that was going to be different this season. As I said, it still could be. But right now, it very much hasn't changed. So good morning to each and every one of you. Let me know your thoughts on that. And listen, I'm not being negative about it. I don't know. I think the difficulty that we've got, I think the difficulty that we have got is because Lang works in the dark, we don't really know what's going on. And back to the old days, isn't it? Where none of us had a clue. For the older people my age, we would have, my age and above, we would have put on teletext. Or we would have waited for the BBC Evening News or the ITN News, and it would have been Sport Now, and so-and-so has signed Jurgen Klinsmann. Oh, have we? Now everything is in the media. Everything, people like me don't help, but everything is in the media, and we seem to know everything that's going on before it's even gone on, right? And I think that's half the problem. The expectation is mad. It's a strange one, isn't it? It's a strange time to be a Spurs fan. And I'm just hoping, I'm just hoping that the Morgan Gibbs White situation isn't overshadowing everything else. I'd like to think that Spurs are more professional than that. I'd like to think that we're not all just sitting and waiting on one transfer. I'd like to think that there's other stuff going on. We're hearing lots of noise that we now might be approaching Harvey Elliott as well, which would mean probably that Morgan Gibbs-White won't come. I don't know if that's true. You lot don't know if that's true. We'll see. But that's what I think we need to do. We need to move. We need to look at other options. We need to assess what's best for Tottenham Hotspur. And I'll be honest, that's probably not what we've done for years. It's not what we've done for years. Davis, 2304. Good morning, Chew says, we need more homegrown players. Harvey Elliott, brilliant player, but apparently our fans don't want him. I'm just bamboozled by this fan base. Yeah, Davis, I mean, look, if we look at that as a comment, I'm completely with you. I don't understand at all that we spend all year saying we want players, we want to fill the squad out. And then it seems like any technically very good footballers we're linked with, we just think we're better than. I think Harvey Elliott's a fantastic player that can play in multiple positions. We got a lot of people. I think what I find is funny is whoever we're linked with, we always go, I like him, but I prefer Eze. I like him, but I prefer this. Sure. But if you're not linked with said preferred player, it's very difficult, isn't it, to just say, yeah, what about him? What about him? Neil Lambert, big up Neil, has said, that's the difference between the big clubs and us. They get the players in and bed them in with plenty of time. We are still messing about. Nothing yet has changed, in my opinion. Yes. Yeah, I think so. I'm just playing around with the I don't know if I like that. I feel like that's a bit big, isn't it? Not your comment. I just feel like that's huge, isn't it? That we've got the bubble or we got the block. Let's go with a block. So yeah, I make you right. I feel like there are things slowly but surely changing, but I do feel that Spurs really, really need to show that it's properly changed. At the moment, I think. Oh, sorry, it's very bright, isn't it? At the moment, I think that we're looking at one first-team player through the door. But is it enough? Is it enough, people? I'm not sure it is. I'm really not sure it is. Big up to Tony Rodriguez, who says smash the likes. Yeah, I won't go on about that today. People seem to get very annoyed when people promote their business. But hey, yeah, please do smash the likes. Really appreciate it. And you've probably noticed that we have put the counter there that shows you. Now, a little bit of discrepancy. The numbers fluctuate on this as opposed to my studio. So this might be slightly off, but I'm working on that, by the way. So this might be slightly different to what YouTube shows at the moment, but I am working on that behind the scenes. So please leave that with me. Price has said, I don't want Elliot at the expense of Morgan Gibbs-White. I believe they play similar positions. If we get both, lovely. Yeah, sure. I mean, but you have to ask yourself the question, Morgan Gibbs-White, if the deal can't be done, then you've got to move on. You've got to look at other options. When we say they play similar positions, yeah, of course. I want the squad stacked with players. I don't understand all these people saying, do we need him? Do we need him? Is he better than what we've... I feel like we need to stack it with quality. I mean, Coastal Cruise has said, Elliot is a cracking player and learned his game playing alongside winners. This is what I don't get. Like, he's a very good technical footballer. He's got that little bit of bite, that little bit of fight. He's played for Liverpool for a number of years now, training with winners. He is a winner himself in his own right. He's played, 200 professional career games. He's 22 years of age, so he's young, but he's not too young. Was just player of the tournament for the England under-21s. I just don't get it. I don't get what some of us, I've said this for a long time, right? I really don't get. We seem to turn our noses up at a lot of good players. I get it. I get that there are certain players where we go, ooh, but I just think Elliot for me would be a fantastic, cracking little addition to our squad. By the way, not every signing is going to be the big superstar signing, but not every signing needs to be. Sean M has said one first team signing nearly the end of July after finishing 17th last season. it's as pathetic so far as any window has been under Enoch. Look, it's a difficult one, Sean. It's a really difficult one because I want to sit here and believe that things have changed. And I mean, it's catch-22 because you would say that had the Morgan Gibbs White deal had gone through, would we be saying this? And this is where I'm at loggerheads with my own opinion. Does that make sense? Like half of me is going, oh, well, we've only got one in. The other half's going, well, we should have two in, but for Nottingham Forest. And is two in enough? There, I suppose you can ask the question. But yeah, one first team signing in by the end of July would be bad, but it's not quite the end of July. We've got some days to go. And listen, I think what a lot of people, like we all understand, Sean, is that we've got to have a bigger squad, right? We've got Champions League football this year. As I keep saying to people, last year we had the Europa League to fall back on. This year, we very much do not have the Europa League to fall back on. So we really are going to have to, get in those bodies. And this is why I feel like we're all very, I feel like we're way too judgmental on players. I feel like we're way too judgmental. I can't believe there are Spurs fans saying they don't want Gibbs White. There's fans that didn't want Kudus. There's fans that don't want Harvey Elliott. You know, there are fans that wouldn't want Jack Grealish. And I'm looking at this squad going, how do you not want these footballers? Like, when did we turn into this club? When did we turn into this club where we're looking at the likes of players we've got, like Tell, like Odegaard, like Solomon, like Sarr, like Richarlison, like Solanke, and yet we can turn around, praise them, find ways to praise them. But yet, oh, Harvey Elliott's not for me. Oh, I'm not sure about Jack Grealish. You know, and you're like, what? These serial winning footballers. These serial winning footballers, but they're not for us. I'm just a little bit confused as to what we want. Oh gosh, people. Sorry, it's got nothing to do with you at all, mate. It's got nothing to do with you at all. So please don't tell me how to run my channel. I'm getting a bit bored with people telling me how to run my channel. To be honest, I think I've done all right without people I don't know with no name and no face giving it the big one on. Oh, what you should do is this. You should do this. You do that too much. I'm seeing videos go around about, oh, YouTubers do this. Their algorithms this. This is why they do it. Shadow banning. I mean, it's all wrong. Everything that these people are saying is not true. I think if you're going to make a video about something, I think you've got to know your information. And if you're going to comment in the chat, know what you're commenting about. Hey, it is what it is. Spurs Kai said players like Basuma, Dragoshin, Sarr are going to all be needed to keep. Only the likes of Solomon Hill and Richarlison need to be sold. We need a big squad. Yeah, I mean, I don't see Dragoshin going anywhere. He's injured at the moment, so I don't see him going anywhere. Papa Sarr, I wouldn't mind if he went, and I wouldn't mind if Basuma went. But I think all of this depends, Kai, on the numbers coming in. So yeah, you're right. In one part, you're right. We need a big squad. The other part is if players go, bring new players in. And this is what the likes of Man City, this is what the likes of Arsenal this summer, this is what the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea are very good at. They bring bodies in. Now, we can argue that some of those fans don't like some of their signings, but you've got to get the bodies in. And unfortunately, we seem to think that some of the players we've got are really good, but turn our noses up at better footballers. Lee has said, unfortunately, Savva, some people believe we should be fishing in the same pond as the likes of Man City, Liverpool. I agree. And this is the problem is, I mean, yesterday, I did a video about Garnacho and Elliot, just the loose links that are there with them to Tottenham Hotspur. And a lot of the themes that come back is this. It's, if he's not good enough for Liverpool, he's not good enough for us. You know, when you think, hang on, if he's not good enough for Liverpool, he's not good enough for us. Is that really how it works? Couldn't that method be applied to every signing? So player moves to new club. Oh, he wasn't good enough for them. He's not good enough for us. Do we really think we're going to sign the caliber of players Liverpool are? Florian Wirtz? Are we going to buy those types of players? Are we buying Mo Salahs, Virgil van Dijk's? I think it's a fine line. And I do, as I say, before I have football conversations, I always try to look at the middle, look at the balanced, nuanced part of the conversation rather than these rubbish. Like, as soon as somebody says, trash, that player's trash, he's garbage, I think to myself, well, this is a silly conversation now, isn't it? How do you debate with people that just say, Grealish, trash? People that go, Grealish is finished. Based on what? Based on what is Jack Grealish finished? Based on that his time at Man City's come to an end and they've got younger players that are playing in front of him. It's mad. It's utter madness. Bryce has said the issue is we are subjectively judgmental. When it's a youth player, no one has a single bad word to say because they all have world-class potential, supposedly. Yeah, listen, absolutely. I think this is the key thing, right? And I use Matisse Tell as the barometer because when we're signing Matisse Tell, you've got people that are going, oh, I really want to see what he can do. I think he's a good player. Those same people, not all of them, some of those same people are the ones going, oh, Harvey Elliott, oh, Jack Grealish. So what are you talking about? They are levels above Matisse Tell. They are levels above Odegaard. They are levels above Bergvall and Sarr. And I'm not saying sell Bergvall, by the way. That wasn't the point. But it's just interesting. Anthony Glynn, big up Anthony, has said Newcastle have left at the Ekatike talks. Who has confirmed this, Anthony? Give me your source. We need sources. I'm just checking just to see if Romano said anything in the last few minutes. Not just about that, by the way. So we can see here that, yeah, you're absolutely right. There you go. Bang on. Thank you very much. Somebody who's put news in the chat, which seems to be 100% true. So let's see here what Romano said, shall we? So Fabrizio Romano has said this. He has said, understand that Newcastle have now already left the talks for Hugo Ekitike. Deal considered off. Newcastle now focus on different targets. As since Monday, the bid got rejected. Liverpool entered the race and there was no advances with the Magpies. Liverpool are now advancing. And I guess, look, I get it, right? And I don't know, Anthony, are you a Newcastle fan, Anthony? Let me look at your picture again. Is that the Newcastle United stand in the background? I want to say yes, but it's a bit small. I can't really see. But I guess this goes down to when we talk about the food chain, I think Liverpool are going to always get the player over Newcastle. That's no disrespect to Newcastle. I say the same thing about my own club. This is the problem. Newcastle probably felt quite confident about the whole Ekitike thing. They go in and then Liverpool go, shit, we better do something. We better move on this. We better jump on this. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see now what the Newcastle do. What's Newcastle's next move? They clearly want a forward. Callum Wilson, that was the name I was looking for. Callum Wilson has left the building. Isak, as far as I'm aware, is the only recognised senior striker. I think you've got, is it Asula? I want to say, somebody correct me. I think Asula. But hey, we'll keep an eye on that one. Would I start Harvey Elliott on the right or through the middle? I would have Harvey Elliott rotating in the middle players that we've got. I think we've got a lot of games of football. Kulusevski and Maddison are injury prone. If you had Kulu, Maddison, Elliot, you've got options. This is what look at Man City, right? Look at Man City. They have, let me get this right, in their attacking options without Erling Haaland as a striker. They have Bob, Savio, Cherky, Foden, Gundogan, Grealish, Silva, Marmoush, Doku. I mean, look at all those players. You've got to be able to rotate them. You've got to be able to get the best out of them. But I don't see those clubs talk about, oh, this player, oh, we've got that player. I don't see that happening. We seem to care about that at Spurs. Now, listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying that we can have a massive squad all overnight. But I do think that we need to stop worrying as fans so much about, well, like I saw yesterday on Talksport. It baffled me. I saw on Talksport, they got Sonny Talk Spurs on there. Big up Sonny. This isn't about him, by the way. He was just a guest. And they asked him the question of, oh, well, Morgan Gibbs White, wonder, does that spell the end for Maddison? When you're thinking to yourself, well, so what? Are we always going to have one player in each position? And to be fair, I thought Sonny answered it brilliantly. Said, well, Maddison's injured, gets injured, so you're going to need somebody there to rotate with. And we've been crying out for a deep squad. So Sonny, for me, talked absolute sense. I thought he gave a really good account, a really good answer. But, when you sit there and you think to yourself, why is that people's first thought? Like, oh, well, if he comes, where does he play? Did any Man City fans say, oh, well, if Rayan Cherki comes in, what happens to Bernardo Silva and Foden? Surely they didn't. Surely they're like, good player, get him in. Now it's down to Pep as the manager to make it all work. We just don't seem to have that, do we? We don't seem to have that mindset. We seem to have the mindset of, let's have one player in each position. Everyone else is a backup. Like I keep seeing, we need a backup left back. Why? Why can't we have another left back that rotates with a Udogie, that challenge each other? Why has it got to be backups? Like I want Anthony Robinson. Love Anthony Robinson. I've not seen a link. I'm just chucking the name there. I'd like Anthony Robinson. And then, you turn around and fight it out. Udogie and Robinson, you're in better form. You play. You've got a slight knock. The other one plays today. We're playing on Wednesday night and Saturday. Take it in turns. That's where I want to be as a club. But we seem to talk in. See, again, we say things like this. Grealish is a party animal. Like what? It's crazy. We just seem to, it's just crazy. I agree. And this is what I mean. So Palmer wasn't good enough. Exactly. That's the theory. That's like the theory if we got Harvey Elliott, for example, that we turn around and go, oh, what? City's leftovers, Liverpool's leftovers. Just madness. I think he would, absolutely. Listen, and I don't know. Listen, I've heard little murmurings here and there that Jack Grealish might be joining and on loan. I'd love that. I'd love Jack Grealish in a World Cup year on loan. Jack Grealish, again, we live in this day and age where people will only go, oh, he don't score goals. He's not the greatest goal scorer, no. But no one turns around and actually analyses this game and says, well, do you know what he does do is actually more important for the team? You've got other people in the team that score the goals. What Jack Grealish does is he holds up the ball. What Jack Grealish does is win free kicks. What Jack Grealish does is brings his teammates further up the pitch because he's not losing it. What Jack Grealish does is out-muscle fullbacks. Do you know what I mean? Like all of these different things. And that's what football coaches will look at. And football fans just go, GA's crap. You're like, okay, but sure, if I'm signing Grealish, I'm not signing him as my guy that's going to get me 15, 20 goals. That's not what I would be wanting him for. I big up Anthony. I said, Newcastle fan, mate. I would have loved Ekitike to play with Isak, but if pulling out of the Ekitike deal means keeping Isak, I'm cool with that. And Anthony, I guess that's the silver lining. I guess the silver lining is that if Liverpool go and spend 90, 100 million euros on Ekitike, it's your, it's your big signing. It's your big striker signing. They're not going to do that and Isak. So I guess the silver lining. And look, there's other players out there that Newcastle can go and get. It's not like Hugo. Listen, I like Hugo Ekitike. I think he's a good striker. I think he's got a wonderful touch, brilliant hold-up play. Just had a good year goal scoring. Is that one-off or is he going to keep going? You would expect he'd probably score quite a few at Liverpool. But I don't think it's the be-all and end-all that, oh, my God, Ekitike's off. What are Newcastle going to do now? I don't think that. So, yeah, I think that's the right way to look at it. And listen, I don't think he's going to go to Liverpool and be like a 30-goal a season man. I think more than anything, I think he's going to go there and be the man that brings the others into the game. I think he's going to be the man that Wirtz links up with, that Salah links up with. But listen, Liverpool moving a bit crazy. And unfortunately, because of the Jota situation, they've got to move even more than they did before. So, yeah. Newcastle might go for Sesko. He's saying Newcastle, Tyrell Gunner. Could it be Newcastle going for Sesko? Yeah, Savva watched them go for Sesko. Listen, again, I like Sesko. He's a good player. We're not talking about a 30 goal a season player. But, again, unfortunately, when we say silly things like this, like Grealish being washed is based on 90% of his career at City. Well, if Jack Grealish was washed, he would have left City a long time ago. This is a man that was fundamentally instrumental to Man City winning a treble. He played nearly every game that season. And I just think when people go, oh, he's washed. I mean, he's like 29 years of age. I just feel like, unfortunately, people do say some silly things. Like, it's very knee-jerk, silly things. Absolutely. And it's not a first 11 game, is it? It's a squad game. And when you're playing twice a week, when you're playing twice a week, you've got to have that squad depth. Riser said, I think people hate on Gray too much when he hasn't even had a proper chance to play in the position of Gray develop. He was never going to do one. I don't think it's about hating Gray. I think that the point is that for someone like me, I want better. I don't want Archie Gray in my midfield. Could he learn? Could he develop? Sure. But I don't think it's about hate. Again, we use these words like washed and hate. And for me, listen, could he be a good player in the future? Sure. Am I seeing anything right now? No. Doesn't mean he won't be good in the future. But we'll see. Aussie Frank Lover, big up to you, has said your backup players in each position should be as good as the starting 11. Competition for spots is what makes a team better. Listen, I agree. Listen, you're not going to have a team of 22 superstars. I get it, right? But why couldn't we have a Dogie and Robinson, for example? I just use him as an example. Why do we always say, oh, we need a backup left back? We're talking as though Adogie's the best left back we've ever seen and nobody could possibly play in front of him. I don't want that. I want people challenging for places. Maresca saying he wants 9 attacking options for the squad. Well, good luck to him. I mean, that's what Chelsea will do, right? That's the difference. They won't worry about, oh my God, we've already got 15,000 players. They'll just keep going. Spurs Naples has said Newcastle played a great game by raising the value of Ekatike, so they will be secured with Isak. There's that way of looking at it, for sure, my man, for sure. There is definitely that way of looking at it. Look, Newcastle will do some decent bits. They always do. They're quietly going about building a good squad. As I said last year, I thought the signings of Livramento and Lewis Hall were excellent. Not everyone, most people laughed at me when I said that last year. I said, I'd love Livramento. I was an excellent fullback. Was told he wasn't good enough. Lewis Hall, what's he done? You can see, look, he's a quality player. It is what it is. Barbaric to staying good morning to you, my man. How you doing? Said, fed up with the backup or where would he fit in comments? I want us to get better players and drop what we have now to the bench. We have to progress. I agree. We hear this all the time. Where would he fit in? I don't think people understand how many games of football we played last year. How many games? Do you know what? Again, this is the thing. The excuse all last year was, well, we don't have players. We don't have backups. Then when you say, okay, let's bring in players. Oh, but where do they play? It doesn't make sense. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Listen, I'd take both of them. I'd love to really mix up the midfield. I'd like to see. I don't mind if Sarr went, if Basuma went, and you brought in Gibbs White and Harvey Elliott. You know, I'd really like to mix it up. I'm not against those guys staying, by the way, but I'm just saying if I'd like some fresh blood. I'd like to mix it up. And you know, that's what I think we need. That's what I think we need. I think when we talk about starters, I think obviously most teams will have a favoured 11, so to speak. But what I want to know is that if somebody in that favoured 11 drops out, the next person coming in isn't a complete scrub. So that for me is where I'm at with it. I just want to know that they're not going to be a complete scrub. And unfortunately, that's what we've been doing lately. We've been buying I don't want to say scrubs, but we've been buying a lot of young kids that when they come in and we go, oh, they're not ready. Well, yeah, you've bought young kids. That's what happens in the world, right? Sorry, I just need to share this post, great post. We're live. Come join us. That's what happens, right? So I think we've got to, next time a Spurs fan tells you, but where will they play? And this, where do they play? Is Maddison going to leave? Is this going to, got to remember, we need a lot of players. Spurs one said Aston Villa don't want Grealish to go back there. I mean, again, all Aston Villa fans, look at the history with Aston Villa fans. I feel like that's like saying again, that's like saying Brennan Johnson. Look at half our fan base think he's great. The other half don't rate him. So that's like you go into another channel and saying, oh yeah, the Spurs fans don't want Johnson. Well, some do, some don't, right? Like, so this you can't speak for every single Aston Villa fan. I could say that about Arsenal fans. I know Arsenal fans that are happy with Madueke. I know Arsenal fans that are like, what are we doing here? This is terrible. So you can't say all of them. BSD29 said we should be signing players who are capable of taking a spot off the current starter, push the players and their determination to improve. Absolutely. Have that battle, have that drive, have that fight, have that competition. Neil said, what wages is Grealish on? Government Spurs, would it be realistic? I'm guessing if we were going to do a loan deal, let's have a look. Man City wages. Here we go. We've got it all to hand, ready for you. Jack Grealish is on 300 grand a week. But the funny thing is, I do feel when we talk about wages, I do think, Neil, that there's a possibility that, first of all, it's all hypothetical, right? It's all hypothetical. It could be a case we say to Man City, we'll take him on loan for a year. We'll pay 150, you pay 150. Sure. Or, hey, we'll take him on a perm, but Jack, you're going to have to take 200 grand a week, not 300. There is a world maybe where Jack Grealish says, yeah, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Not all players are the same. As we said, some players will just be, nah, money. Other players will go, well, hang on, I've earned a hell of a lot of money. I'm okay. I'm comfortable with that. But let me add on some bonuses into my contract. And all these different ways that you can get a footballer. We have no links to Grealish. So apparently Frank don't rate him. I don't think that's true. Let's be fair. Did anyone see any links to Morgan Gibbs-White? And then boom, done. So I don't think that's true to say, Carlson. Also, just because we don't have links doesn't mean that Frank doesn't rate him. It could be that Frank massively rates him. Let's be fair. Do you think Thomas Frank's looking at people like Jack Grealish and thinking, I wouldn't want to work with players like that? I don't know. But again, you've got no way of knowing he's on the decline. Well, what it means is that his time at Man City's up. We do this all the time. Yeah? All the time. See, look, again, people are just now spinning a narrative that they don't know. Like, if Frank doesn't rate him, then this means I agree with Frank. Well, none of us would have any way of knowing if Thomas Frank rates him. Maybe Frank said, yeah, get me Grealish, and he's not gettable. But, hey, listen, people have got to say whatever makes them happy, right? Could you tell me what would happen if Morgan Gibbs-White got injured in training with Forest? Then the signing wouldn't go through, right? Spurs would have to walk away. If he picks up a significant injury, Spurs would have to walk away. And then the whole thing's null and void. Hey, that's just me. Vardy on a free. No. Vardy's like nearly 40 or something now. My mate Hippie has put a nice post. I don't want to talk about other YouTubers. I don't want to talk about other YouTubers. I don't understand. We just live in this world where I think we should all everyone can just do their own channel, right? I don't feel the need that I need to sit and make videos about other YouTube. I just want to talk football. If I'm brutally honest, that's all I want to do. I just want to talk football. So it is what it is. Anyone can say what they want. I mean, if I read all the things if I believed all the things that I see these videos about who I am and what I do from people that don't know me, I'm not saying Paul, by the way. I haven't seen or spoken to Paul for a long time, but I see a lot of people. They post things on the internet pretending they know everyone, and they don't. And I don't know. Some of these YouTubers, I can say that I don't agree with their opinion, but I can't say, oh, they're a horrible person or they're a lovely person. I don't know them. So I feel like just posts like that, I just don't think they're needed, my friend. And listen, everyone's doing their own content. Everyone's doing their own thing. it is what it is, right? Let's see. Savva, what's your opinion on Forest? What's your opinion on Forest wanting to sell Morgan Gibbs White, but as long as it's not Spurs? I haven't seen that. If that's true, then I guess then the mud has been watered. The water has been muddied, right? I'm guessing that relationships are bad. I'm guessing that there's a lot of ill feeling between the two clubs because of this scenario, but I haven't seen that anywhere. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know where you've seen that. I'm not sure. I don't know, my man. I don't know. Savva, Akalushi had a hat-trick last night against Coventry. Imagine if we had signed either him, Zagrova, and Buemo for the right wing. Now, that would have been a statement signing. Yeah, good player. But again, as I said with the Buemo signing, hang on, by the way, here we go. So Newcastle are exploring a deal to sign Brentford striker Yoane Wissa after calling their interest in Hugo Ekitike. So there you go. And that's from David Ornstein. So it looks like they're moving very, very quickly. Yeah, David Ornstein, Newcastle, no contact between the clubs yet, but expected soon. Personal terms also need to be agreed. Availability and price may depend on the Buemo case. So there you go. So Newcastle moving very quickly from one to the other. Looks like they're going to try and go in and get Yoane Wissa. Good player. I think if you've got Wissa and Isak, you've got goals, haven't you? You've got options. You've got goals. Now you've got Alanga. You've got Anthony Gordon. You've got options. You've got Murphy on the right-hand side as well. So, listen, Newcastle just going about their business, right? Just going about their business. Listen, I've said my thought. I don't know at this stage. I'll be honest. I think a lot of people, I think we're all getting a bit bored. Like you must be. I am. I think it just needs to get resolved either way would be my official line on this. I just think it needs to get resolved. As I said before, I don't think this is good for either club. I don't think it's great that both clubs are sitting there not knowing what's going on now moving forward. Both managers must be pretty peed off because I'm guessing Nuno wants to know, have I got him for the season? Frank wants to know, have I got him for the season? How do you plan? How do you, so I don't think it's good for anyone. That's only my opinion. It is what it is. Anthony has said, this backup narrative confuses me. Sign players who would start, then your current starters become your backup. That's what City do. That's why they keep winning. Yeah, listen, I agree. I think that you've got to have people that come straight into your team or that are capable of coming straight into your team. As I said, if I use the left back scenario, I don't want a second string left back, so to speak. I want a left back that goes in immediately and competes. I want a left back that goes in immediately and competes with Destiny Udogie. I want somebody that says, yeah, I can get in above him. I want somebody that makes Destiny Udogie go, I've got to raise my game. I've got to turn it on. I want that fight for places. And we've not had that for a very, very long time. Absolutely, Ben. No politics here, people. No politics. I don't understand this. And we've all got YouTube. We want to talk football, don't we? Don't we want to talk football? We really want to talk about politics and race and religion. And I don't. I'll be honest, I don't. This is meant to be football. I don't care about all the rest. Yeah, Whistle to Newcastle. It's picking up pace, isn't it? It's desperately picking up pace. That David Ornstein's put it out there. I would think it won't be too long until you see Romano go for it, maybe Plettenberg and the likes. But it's it makes sense. I think Wissa to Newcastle makes sense. They could play two up. Wissa can play off one of the wings. There's options there. Pretty jealous if that goes through. No, very jealous if that one goes through. So then Newcastle, for me, will have better strikers than Tottenham Hotspur. By the way, let me do a couple of super chats. Thank you very much. Very generous. Big up to Emma. Thank you. As always, Emma, thank you very much. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for the super sticker. Always in it. Always being very generous. So thank you, Emma. Really appreciate you. My man Rodney Roberts said Dembele never got loads of goals. Need I say more? Yeah, I think you know, you look at people like Iniesta, never got loads and loads of goals. And I just think that there's certain players that are in your team to score goals. Yeah, there are certain players that are not, and it's not to say he couldn't do better on that front. But I agree, my man. I do think it's a little bit silly. But hey, big up to you, Rodney. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Big up to Ryan, who's not only renewed his membership. Big up, Ryan. Thank you for renewing your membership. By the way, there is a member-only show today at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Members only. They're the only ones that can join, the only ones that will be able to view it. So 3 p.m. today for the members-only show. And yeah, thank you very much, Ryan. And on top of that, very, very generous. I said, would you sell Benny and have Elliot for 50 million as his replacement and get Grealish on loan with an option to buy? Listen, I'm like that with Bentancur. I think he's a good player. I don't think I've never seen him do anything where I've gone, oh my God, we must keep him at all costs. I'm not that guy. But if he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. I'm not too concerned. Elliot, I don't think will be 50 million. I don't think the fee that they're touting out there for Elliot is 50 million. But I'd like, I don't think he'd be a direct replacement either. But yes, I'd like him in the squad. And Grealish on loan with an option to buy, it would be perfect. Get him the year, see what he does, and take it from there. So yeah, I do. I think all of those things would be great. But hey, that's just me. And by the way, whatever I say on my channel, it is just my opinion. It's not, I don't know anything different to anyone else. It's just my opinion. So big up, Ryan. Thank you very much for that, bro. I really appreciate that. And the membership. So big up, bro. Paul Watkins putting a super sticker. Very generous lately, Paul. Thank you very much for all your support over the last however long or years or whatever it is. So big up to you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Same with Tony Rodriguez, always being generous out there from Sweden, Tony. Thank you very much for everything you do for the channel as well. I appreciate you. Always enjoyed chatting football with you. And D&B forever. Always, always, always very, very generous to me. Gentlemen, thank you very much. That is lovely. And for any of you that are members, don't forget the members only show is at 3 p.m. today. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Plasma, stop. One more, I'll ban you. One more. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Plasma, this is your warning. I don't have other YouTubers being slagged off here. I don't have politics here. I don't want any of that. Okay, there's channels that do it. That's fine. I'm not telling them they can do their own content, right? I just don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it. What did Barnaby? What did Barnaby say on his channel? I haven't really watched a lot of YouTube lately. I've been really busy with other stuff, but I don't know what's been said. So apologies on that one. Apologies. Matt said, anyone telling me we can't rival Newcastle for Wissa is part of the reason we accept below par of his signings. I don't think anyone's said we can't rival. I suppose it depends on whether or not that's the key part of what Frank wants. I don't think anyone said that. What are we doing? We need Wissa. Sure. I mean, listen, we don't know who we're after. Yeah, I'd like Wissa. Very much would like Wissa. Absolutely. Yeah, Ben, thank you. Yeah, this is the last warning. If I see anyone talking about things like that, I will block them. I really don't want to talk about politics in here. Please, please. This is a football conversation. Leah, so people, there is no way in hell nothing else is happening because of Morgan Gibbs White. It's just not how business works. I agree. You always have multiple conversations going on at one time. Come on, what are we doing? I completely agree with you. I think more than anything, I think it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But in this scenario, it's not particularly great, is it? Fabrice Hawkins is suggesting that Hugo Ekitike and Liverpool have reached an agreement over a 6-year contract. Wow. Hugo Ekitike, apparently an agreement done, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. That's that story. I wouldn't think Liverpool would have any problem getting a player like Hugo Ekitike over the line. We'll see. Big up Savva, big up Frankly Spursy. He said, love the content and you're taking Spurs. Anything new from you this season? Keep up the good. Anything new from me? I think I do quite a lot already. Listen, the super, the watch-alongs. You've got Spurs Review. You've got the panel shows. You've got the morning shows. I mean, there's only so much I can do, my man. There's only so much I can do, but I'll always keep trying to freshen it up. Richard. I mean, they're different players, aren't they? For me, I'd like both those profiles of footballers. I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White isn't a winger. Mitoma is. I'd like both those profiles in the football club. I think that's where we need to get at, that we're looking at both those profiles. Do you think the Vista deal would stop them selling Mbeumo to United? Pass. I mean, I think the difficulty you've got is, let's say Wissa gets done. Let's just hypothetical. Wissa goes to Newcastle today. The problem you've got is if Brentford then turn around and go, right, well, we're not selling anyone else. I think Brian Mbeumo could make it very uncomfortable for them. Now, it's difficult, right? It's difficult because Brentford could turn around and go, fine, you can have Mbeumo, but we want 90 million. And this is the difficulty of the transfer market, isn't it? This is why sometimes it's not as easy to get players as people think. Their clubs don't want to let them go, as we're seeing with the Gibbs-White situation. Their clubs can put massive fees on them, like you will see with Mbeumo, like you will see with all players. When the club is not strapped for cash, they will put big fees on players. And it's very, very difficult to get those players out at that time. Where are we? Let me see what else is going on in the comments. Steve H said Garnacho and Xavi Simons, quality over quantity. I'm not sure if Harvey Elliott is a needle mover. I think Harvey Elliott's a brilliant little footballer. I don't know what people are watching. Each to their own, Steve, but I think he's a really good little player. And I always want good players at my club. Look, when he's going to Inter. Yeah, I've seen that Inter are very much interested in him. It will be very interesting to see if he goes there. Let's see. Finn, I agree. This is what I mean. People talk as though they know Grealish. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems a bit rash that people can conclusively state that Grealish is on the decline when he only had the chance to play around 700 minutes, equivalent to less than 8 games in the Prem last season. Look, I think, as I've said before, don't we all have this? Don't we all have this, right? That sometimes you're at a job, things are going a bit stale, it's not going as well, you're a bit flatlined, you go somewhere else, you get a new manager, you get new workmates or new teammates, renewed. I just think there's too many people that just go, oh, he's not played as much as he used to for Man City, he's finished, he's gone, he's dreadful. It's like, if that's how football works, we wouldn't sign anyone. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't sign anyone. What about Van der Vaart? When we signed Van der Vaart from Real Madrid, do you remember? Van der Vaart wasn't as good as he used to be. His legs didn't do what we used to. Look at the impact he had when he come in, and we just forget that. We just forget that. Then we get silly things like I say things like, dude is trash. Like, I mean, this is a guy that's just turned 21 who's got good stats for his age. He's not trash. He's not trash. He might have had a difficult time at Man U. It might not have worked out for him. He's not trash, is he? I think we've got to, I think we've really got to, it's crazy. See how quickly Liverpool get an Ekatike deal done. Big money too. Yeah, all we do is excuse the dilly-dallying. And we need multiple signings fast. Yeah, but Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Again, this is where context went. No one's excusing it. Liverpool are one of the biggest clubs in the world. They can turn around to a player like Ekatike. I mean, I don't know what they're paying, 90 million? I mean, when you're saying the dilly-dallying, didn't we get Morgan Gibbs-White and Kudos done like that? When you're saying dilly-dallying, I think it's just, Matt, unfortunately, you're saying more and more silly things. With every comment from you is something silly. I don't ever see you say something sensible. Hey, that's just me. Brentford can't sell both of them because then they will be right in that. Well, look, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? What happens if they turn around to Mbeumo and go, sorry, man, we can't, we can't move you on now because we've sold Wissa. If I'm Mbeumo and his agent, I'm saying, hang on here. Well, I don't want to play, and then you've got a real difficult scenario. So we'll keep an eye on it, see how it moves out. Matt, I'd love it if you went to another channel. I would. I just find you every comment is just hard work with you. I'm just going to stop bringing them up. Just hard work. I like Grealish. I think Grealish is a good player. Honestly, Elliot, good player. Grealish, good player. Look, we had fans who didn't want Gibbs White. Apparently, he wasn't good enough for Spurs. We got fans who didn't think Kudus was good enough for Spurs. Who is good enough for Spurs then? And I mean, look, unfortunately, look, now we've got the childish crew in. Garnacho level is the championship. I mean, it's really silly. This is an Argentina international who's broken into the Man United team at the age of 17, 18. And we're just saying he's championship level. It's unfortunately, this is the beauty of YouTube is opinions, but you do get a lot of really, really, really silly people like that Spurs one or whatever, just really silly. Let's see. People are saying Fabrizio Bomber. I don't even know. What does bomber mean? Where are these stupid words coming from? Here we go. Here we go. So Liverpool have submitted an official bid to Eintracht Frankfurt for Hugo Ekitike. Eintracht already informed Liverpool that they want more. Proposal rejected, but it was initial contact as talks continue. Ekitike said yes, no issues on personal terms. He wants Liverpool. Okay, so let's see what Liverpool go back with. So that bid was rejected. I'll be interested to see what that was. I reckon they're going to end up paying like 90 million euros for this guy. It's a lot of money. Fair play to them. We'll see. Tommy, I agree. He would be our second best winger if he came in. But listen, I'm not saying we have to go out and get a Garnacho, right? I'm not. I've never said that. I just find it funny when people just say silly things like, oh, he's a championship level player. It's really silly. It's so silly. Mate, we won't sign a 300 grand a week. As we said, AZ Spurs. And again, this is where people don't use their brain when understanding transfers. Yeah. Maybe you get him on 200 grand a week. Maybe you get him on loan and you split the fee. Maybe you get him on 150 grand a week and give him a bonus. There's different ways of doing different things for all players, right? I just don't get this word. Everyone's coming up. What's a bomber? I don't get it. It's like one person says it. Everyone's got to use it in their thumbnails. Not for me. Where are we? If we get Garnacho in, I wouldn't be against it. Add more squad depth. Listen, I don't think we're going to go for him, by the way. I think he's a very talented footballer. Now, as with anything, can the right manager get the best out of him? We've seen he's a very good player, needs to add a little bit more end product. But if you actually look for the last couple of years, his stats are actually quite good. So we'll see. I don't think he's going to come to Spurs. I do think he'll get a good move, though. I do. I just don't think everything needs to be so sensationalistic. Players are either brilliant or they're trash. And I just feel like vocabularies need to be expanded a little bit. Is that 86 million euros, Drula, or 86 million pounds? And Ruben, this is exactly it. This is exactly it. If people will tell me that Tell's full of potential, well, Garnacho's done more in football than Tell has. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. Johnson is better than Garnacho, but not as a footballer. He's not. No, he's not a better footballer than Garnacho, is he? He's scored more goals. He's a lot older, but he's not a better footballer than Garnacho in any way, is he? Come on, let's be honest. This is where we get silly. See, rubbish, trash. It's just all a bit. It's just all a bit too silly for me. My man, I'm trying to uphold high standards and demand better. Yeah, but who isn't demanding better? Who isn't demanding better? You're not this lone wolf in that, Matt. I know you seem to think that you're this lone wolf, but you're not. We all want better. Of course we do. Of course we all want better. But kudos, it's better than what we've got. Morgan Gibbs-White is better than what we've got. So you're saying it hasn't happened, but it has. You're saying this sluggish approach. Well, if it wasn't for Nottingham Forest, this Morgan Gibbs-White thing, that would have been two very good first-team players that have come in like that. So listen, I just think you say too many. It's too many. It's not about you being silenced. It's just too many off the, shooting from the hip without thinking before you raise your gun, so to speak. Like, it's madness. Paid £6 million. Okay, all right. Okay. Well, look, it's going to be very, very interesting, isn't it? It's going to be very, very interesting. Where are we? It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Very, very interesting to see what happens. Listen, I'm not saying that every player we're linked with we should go for, that we should get. As I've always said, you know, people can't talk about us and Liverpool in the same breath. Like when people like Matt are saying Liverpool are doing this, they're Liverpool. They're the champions of England. They're one of the biggest 3 or 4 clubs in the world. Let's be fair. They've just gone in and Ekatike, Newcastle walked away. They know they're not getting it above Liverpool. It's a food chain. And I know people don't want to listen to it, but there is. There really is. Jaden said, in my opinion, if Morgan Gibbs-White is done by the end of the week, isn't done by the end of the week, then we need to leave the deal. I think we need a left back, CDM, left wing. Well, look, we can all speculate as to what we need, but the Morgan Gibbs-White deal won't be holding up left back, CDM, left wing. They're 2 different things. I mean, look, if we're going to try and catch Chelsea for the top 4, I think a lot will need to be done. I think Chelsea are a good team with a lot of very good players that have had their manager now for a year, so they're well inducted into how he wants to play. You've got to take that into account as well. That's interesting. Yeah, maybe Morgan Rogers isn't available. Maybe Morgan Rogers is way too much money. You know, I'm just saying, I love Morgan Rogers. I do. I can't see Aston Villa selling Morgan Rogers to Tottenham. I can't see it. I can only imagine how much money they would ask for Morgan Rogers. It's just, I think we've got to sometimes realize that these transfers aren't just because we say we want them, that they go through like that. Paul has said a player can look bad in one system, great in another. Look, absolutely. Also, you know, it's change of scenery. A different manager putting his arm around the player and going, look, you've got talent. You were wasted there. I'm going to do this with you. And, you know, if that's not the case, then you're never going to sign anyone, are you, Paul? Do you know what I mean? When, you know, every player apparently isn't good enough. I do find it a bit crazy. I've seen a 3-legged dog better than Johnson. Matt said, Garnacho, 30 million. Vissa, 40 million. Vlahovic was offered to clubs, could get him for 25 million. We're tussling over Gibbs-White when he's not even a world-class player. But you see what you've done there. See what you see, everybody. I'm exposing Matt. I expose him every show because I don't like liars. So he complains that we don't buy better than what we have. But when we do with Morgan Gibbs-White, he wants to talk about world-class player. Spurs are never going to sign a world-class player. Garnacho's not world-class. Wissa isn't. Vlahovic isn't. It's not what we do. So when you say, we're tussling over Morgan Gibbs-White, you've got no idea what's going on. Yeah. If he is, agreed, Mark, absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. If Morgan Gibbs-White is Frank's number 1 target, we shouldn't be walking away. I agree, because you want the manager to have their target. If he said, this is the guy I think is going to make us tick, but then you've got fans like Matt going, oh, we shouldn't do that. We should go for Vlahovic. It's like, okay, but they're 2 separate deals. We don't know what's happening. I just think I think there's certain people that just say too many sensationalistic things. I've never seen Matt come out with a normal opinion. I've never seen him come out and say, like, I didn't see him come out and praise the Kudus signing. I didn't see him come out and praise Morgan Gibbs-White. It's always, we've not done this, we've not done that. Sure, there's lots of things we've not done, but you can talk about both. He was 21 about 2 weeks ago. 21 about 2 weeks ago. But it's not that simple, Matt. And again, you know, when I say to you that you don't understand football transfers, hence this line, Matt, you don't understand. When football fans say it's that simple, tells me they have not a clue what they're talking about. Trust me, for someone who's worked at football clubs, trust me, when you say things like that, it is not that simple. If Spurs don't believe they've done anything wrong with this Morgan Gibbs-White deal, they won't walk away, because that would be an admission of guilt. Use this. Use this. It may happen. It may not. We'll see. We'll see. Well, look, I just think that what we've got to do is, I think it's very simple to turn around and say, like, just sign Vlahovic. Like, what if Thomas Frank doesn't want Vlahovic? Do you know what I mean? He might do. I don't know. You don't know. But when we're saying just sign Vlahovic, just sign Eze, I see these things. Just sign Ekatike. Just sign him. Just sign him. It's like, whoa, like, according to people like that, we're going to sign hundreds of players, right? We're going to sign hundreds and hundreds of players. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Listen, I get as frustrated as every other fan does. I want loads of signings through the door. But what we have seen, and this is where I have to really rein myself in and remind myself that when we get deals, they're not really long drawn, played out in the media. The Morgan Gibbs White one is different. You look at the deals like Kudus. I mean, that was wrapped up pretty quick, wasn't it? That was wrapped up. Morgan Gibbs White over a day. No one had heard that we were going. So I expect that at some point in the next 10 days, I do think we'll get a couple of signings where we go, oh, haven't seen any reports. But it is what it is. And Paul, this unfortunately, thank you, Paul. This is the problem. When we've got more childish people like Matt that think it's simple. I mean, you've got two huge football clubs in the scale of the world of football fighting each other on a legal battle. People go, oh, it's simple. Well, it's not. It's not simple. And unfortunately, see, this is the thing. You've got some people saying, just go and sign Garnacho. Again, you don't know that Garnacho wants to come. You don't know that Thomas Frank wants Garnacho. This is the problem when we say this. This is the problem when we say it. So, like every player Matt has mentioned there, I don't disagree. I wouldn't mind Garnacho. I wouldn't mind Vlahovic, right? But we don't know. Maybe someone's turned around to Frank and said, listen, there might be a chance we can get Vlahovic. Maybe he's gone, not my type of striker. I don't know. Maybe he said, yeah, get him. Get him. I want him. Maybe we're in talks. By the way, getting Vlahovic, anyone thinks that people saying we won't be able to get Grealish, Vlahovic is on like 380 grand a week. That will be a proper complicated deal to get done. No, he's not. No, he's not. This is the problem, Matt. This is where, as I've said, please, mate, you've got to listen. You don't understand how football clubs work. He's not consuming our transfer window, right? There is a story about Morgan Gibbs White going on. You do realise Spurs will have multiple people spinning other plates, multiple people in the recruitment team. There'll be Daniel Levy, there'll be Vin, there'll be Lang. You do realise that not everything's going to be going into the Morgan Gibbs White. What you think, right? What you think is that we can't do anything until that deal is done. That's not true. That's not true. Ben, I know, but people don't want nuance, mate. This is the problem. Does Garnacho want to move to London? We have to ask all the simple questions that might not even be football ones. But remember, footballers are people. Again, what about his family? Does he want to move to London? Yeah. Has he got a better offer somewhere else? Has he got his heart set on somewhere else? Yeah. All of these, who knows? We might sign him, but it's just, this all started with, Liverpool, look, they've moved for Hugo Ekatike. Yeah, they're going to have to pay about 85, 90 million pounds for the bloke. They are Liverpool Football Club. We are Tottenham. It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. I just don't think, listen, am I as frustrated as everyone else? Would I like to see loads of new players in? Sure. But I was sitting there last week, Gibbs White out of nothing. Like, oh, wow, where did that come from? Yeah. So that every now and then I have to remind myself a little bit that maybe there's some more news coming that we don't know about at the moment. Not everything is played out in public. So we'll see. Big up to Drula. She's been a member for 2 months now. Big up, Drula. I hope you're well. Nice to see you in the chat. Said hashtag free the Gibbs. Free the Gibbs. I like that. Oh, Jesus. Hashtag free the Gibbs. Here we go. So Ornstein has just said Liverpool advancing and talks to sign Hugo Ekatike. Package worth in excess of 80 million. France Youth International wants Liverpool, so personal terms won't be an issue. Yeah, didn't think there would be an issue. Yeah, didn't think there'd be any issue. Big up to Drula. Yeah, listen, I said from the moment Forest started talking about legalities and people are going, oh, this will be wrapped up in a day. No, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. Big up to you, Drula. Big up to Tony Rodriguez, who put in a super sticker. Very generous this morning, my man. Thank you very much. Really, really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. Sorry, once again, I just got to email myself something. Compose. Savva. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate you. So thank you for all your support on that front. Big up to Dean Law as well, who's putting a super sticker. Very generous. Look at you lot this morning. Very, very generous. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate you as well. You've always been very generous to me as well. Thank you very much. Big up to Martin Knightsbridge as well, my man out there in Spain. How you doing, Martin? Hope you're well. Hope that beautiful dog of yours is enjoying the sunshine as always. So big up to you, Martin. Really, really appreciate it. Won't go for too long this morning. I've got a lot of streaming to do today, not just on my own channel. So, look, say Newcastle winning. Isak is better than Ekatike. Look, Ekatike, still a younger player, still got some growth. Listen, I do feel like, got to remember when Isak was 22 or whatever Ekatike is, no one was putting this praise. So, give it time. I think he's a good young player. Matt said, moaning Ace, I don't want you or Savva moaning at the end of the window seat. Again, when you say dumb shit like this, I'll just block you. Listen, if you actually listen to what I say, we need more signings. I've never said we don't, right? So, Matt, stop with this. Or, Matt, I am going to put you in a timeout just because when you say dumb stuff, I think it's silly, right? I think at the moment, am I a bit underwhelmed? Yes. Listen, Matt, you've got two of these, but you never listen. Am I underwhelmed? Yes. So far, we've bought into Kai and we've bought in Kudus. Kudus, great player. Kai, we'll have to wait and see. However, I also look at the other side of things that how differently would it be looking right now if we were sitting here with Morgan Gibbs-White as well and there wasn't the whole legal thing? We'd be looking very differently going, well, that's different from Spurs. Do I want more signings? Yes. Do I want them in before we go on our travels? I think anyone who was here at the beginning of the show would tell you I said that. So when you say really, really silly things like that, Matt, I'm going to put him in a timeout. I'm just a little bit bored of this guy speaks in absolute riddles and lies. He's just a born and bred liar. So I'm just going to put him in a timeout for a little bit. He can come back on when he's got more sensible. No, stop. Yeah, Philly. It's the encouragement. You might not want him blocked, but I won't have him lying and saying silly things. If he's going to say stupid things like that, like at the end of the window, I don't want anyone can say what they want about the window at any time, for sure. But unfortunately, Kudos, you've got to understand this isn't Football Manager. This isn't Football Manager. We're not Liverpool. We're not City. So when he's saying things like Vlahovic's earlier, Vlahovic is available. Okay, is he? How do you know? How do you know Vlahovic is available to Spurs? How do you know we can afford it? How do you know we can get that deal over the line? It's too many. He's available. Get him. He's available. Like you don't know that Thomas Frank wants him. Like, so I always think that we have to be. a little bit careful when we're just saying these things. Check out Alex Crook, someone has said. Okay, let's have a look at what Alex Crook has said. What am I looking at? Okay. So Newcastle United have considered themselves out of the running for Ekatike over since Liverpool joined the party. And again, I want to show this, right? Because this does go to show. And again, for the likes of Matt in the chat who just think we can compete with these bigger clubs, Newcastle can't compete. Look at that. Since Liverpool joined the party, Newcastle were out the running. That's life, right? Yet another one that got away. Visser one option, but sources believe he would prefer a reunion with Frank at Tottenham. Wouldn't surprise me if the Magpies move for Sesko. So look, there's a lot of moving parts. as to any transfer. I just don't like it when people just say things like just get Vlahovic. Listen, I'd like Vlahovic, but I just don't think they understand how difficult these things are. And that's where I get frustrated with people who are a little bit silly. And Alex Crooks is so anti-Tottenham. It's beyond, I genuinely don't know. Haskinov, my man, how you doing? Long time. Said excited to see how Frank will set up the team. Finally a sensible manager. Absolutely. I'm really excited for this season to start. We'll see. Listen, we need to do some bits in the transfer window. It's not shut yet, of course, but hopefully we get some signings in very, very soon. But I hope you're well, my man. I really, really appreciate you as always. Let me just quickly check what's going on. Where are we? Oh, this one's live. Sorry. I don't know why I was looking at the wrong thing. I was trying to bring something up and I was looking at the wrong thing. Stupid Savva. Here we go. Bear with me 1 second. Not from stuff, man. What is it with this word bomber? I just don't get it. This bomber word cracks me up, man. It really, really does crack me up. Okay. Sorry, I just had to do that. Yes, I do think that we've got to. Faz, I agree. I'm really looking forward to watching Kudus play in the Spurs team. I like him. I like him a lot as a footballer. Really happy with that signing. I was very happy with the Gibbs White signing. And this is what I mean. I think we've got to be a little bit almost sympathetic to this. Listen, because as I said, if we were sitting here right now with Gibbs White and Kudus over the line, we're sitting there going, wow, 2 new first team starters before pre-season. Unfortunately, the Morgan Gibbs White side of things has made it look a little bit less than that. But it doesn't mean the deal's off. I don't know. We'll see. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not getting excited at the moment. How you can go in the Champions League with Richarlison and Dom Slanky up top. Yeah, I think we need another option. Maybe Richie goes. Maybe we bring someone else in. It's going to be very, very interesting to see, isn't it? It's going to be very, very interesting to see. By the way, people have got to realise as well, when people say just put the money down as well, I see this all the time. Well, Newcastle just put the money down and didn't get Ekatike. Liverpool have just put the money down and are having to negotiate. Just want to say it's just not as easy as people think. Transfers aren't that difficult, right? Big Country Ski said, I won't lie, Sav, used to annoy me with your views, etc., but you're now my favourite Spurs YouTuber. Keep up good work. Oh, listen, I appreciate that. Listen, there's loads of good YouTubers. I've always said it. I'm a big fan. That I feel like everyone's different. There's a lot of YouTubers who have a very different style to me. There's a lot of YouTubers that I don't agree with, but I think it's important that you watch them all. I think it's really important we watch all the channels. I'm not a fan of channels that need to just slag everyone else off. I don't understand it. I feel like there's enough football to be talked about that we don't need to all bitch and moan about each other. But hey, listen, it is what it is. Everyone's an adult. Everyone can make their own content. And listen, I appreciate the compliment, I guess. Big up to you. No, Matt, and you've come back from your ban, and I don't disagree that Vlahovic is available for clubs. Listen to what I'm saying, Matt. I'm saying, 1, does Thomas Frank want him? 2, can Spurs afford his wages? 3, does Vlahovic want Spurs? 4, does he want the Premier League? Does his family want to move? All of these different things, I don't know the answers to, neither do you. The difference is you say things as though they're just, you end sentence with things like it's simple. No, it's not. It's not simple, Matt. And it's why you annoy a lot of people. Right? It's not simple. Some deals are difficult to do. Like with Dybala, when we couldn't get Dybala, you've got naming rights, player rights. It's some of them are not as simple as you think. And I beg you, I beg you to please go and watch some of these podcasts about how transfers work, because we've got to just stop saying, just get him. Seeing people going, oh, Sesko's not going to Arsenal. Just sign Sesko. And you're like, oh, what? It's like mad. Yeah, see, I'd like Matt to come on in that forum, but he won't. And he won't show his face. But hey, it is what it is. Guys, girls, I am going to leave it there. But I will be on Never a Foul at 11:45. I just got something I need to do in the background for 15 minutes. I'll send you over to Never a Foul. I'll be joining that show at 11:45. And it'd be great if you guys could join that show as well. But big up to Stevie, Edinburgh Spurs said, I've only been watching your channel for a short time. So far, I like the way you give a balanced view. Too many talk. Listen, I think it's important when we're talking about football, yeah, to have a balanced view. Okay, can you tell me this? It is important, by the way, mate. It is very important to have a balanced view. Unfortunately, we get people like this that don't have a balanced view and they think the world is black and white. How many signings will you be content with? It's not about the number of signings, it's about the quality of the signings that I'll be content with. And again, this isn't binary, Matt. This is the problem. It's you want me to sit here and go, I want 5 signings. But what if those 5 signings are all to coys, right? I want quality signings. And this is the problem. This is why I'm very close to blocking him, because it is. I honestly, Daniel, I could say that this says Football Heritage TV. He'll tell me it says something else. Unfortunately, what we're seeing, and I'm not saying everyone should know, but we're seeing someone who really doesn't understand how the world of grown-up business works, right? When people actually take a little step back and understand the nuance of transfers and how football clubs work, they wouldn't say all the silly things that Matt says. He says things like, I want us to do better. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want us to do better? I want us to sign better players. Who doesn't? He's saying it as though he's the only one. Yeah. But because I had a bit of context, he says it's an excuse. Why can't Spurs get Florian Wirtz? Well, the context is he's going to go to a bigger club. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Join me at 1:45 over on Never a Foul. I've sent you all there anyway, so it will be there ready to go. It's not starting for for a while, till 1:45. But until then, thank you very much. Big up to Paul Langley, who's putting a super sticker. Really appreciate you, Paul. That is very, very generous. You lot have been really generous to me this week. Thank you very much. Look, guys and girls, I will leave it there. What I will say is there is a show at 3 p.m. for members only. Members only show at 3 p.m. But at 5 p.m. today, we've got Savva and Butler. Ask Us Anything. Sean is filling in for Lubo today, who's away. And it should be good. It should be a good show. Sean's not done one of these with me before, so let's see what he says. And listen, as always, come on, you Spurs, and hopefully we get some news in the next 24 hours. Take care, everyone. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.